Take a look at these headlines. They come to us from Seattle. The media is restarting fearmongering over the potential tridemic of rising COVID, RSV, and flu cases. Here is our Seattle guy, Jason Rantz, who joins me now. Is Seattle masking up all over again?
Well, Seattle, in fairness, has never stopped masking up, but we're talking about the media across the state of Washington, and I think part of the reason why they're continuing to mask up is we're continuing to spread this message that it's absolutely necessary. Now, we've seen a slight increase in COVID cases, but the real issue here is the flu, and now we're hearing from public health officials telling us that when you go indoors, you should be masked up, and they say our flu rates double and our hospital rates double. But then when you actually look at the raw numbers, it's very, very low. All of these numbers, there are more cases of flu. There's no doubt. We're having a flu season, but a lot of people are disingenuously comparing what we're having now to the last couple of years with the flu. They pretended the last couple of years we didn't have flu at all. And we obviously know we had flu. A lot of it was clearly going to be confused with COVID because of the overlap of symptoms. But the numbers so far do not bear out the fear-mongering at this point. And I think it's deeply unhealthy to constantly tell people that we're on the verge of more pandemics. A tridemic? We're not going through a tridemic, at least in Washington State. RSV cases have gone down. They leveled down last week. We already hit our peak. So one of the key issues that they've been sounding the alarms on are already on the downturn. I think we should be responsible. We should mitigate any risks the way we normally would when it comes to COVID or the flu. But it's just going a little bit too far, and I think that the public health officials who are doing this, I think they mean well. I think their intention is to keep everyone safe, but I think when they go this far, people start to tune it out, and when we do need to desperately listen to them, I don't know how many people will.
I'm going to repeat something that we brought to our viewers' attention yesterday. The Cambridge Dictionary has updated the definition of man and woman. The dictionary's website now defines woman as, quote, an adult who lives and identifies as female, though they may have been said to have a different sex at birth. Man is, quote, an adult who lives and identifies as male, though they may have been said to have a different sex at birth. Would you like to respond to that, Jason?
Well, first, I'd like them to define female and male, because that's kind of interesting here. But here's what this is about, and I think it's actually a really smart strategy. The left wins these arguments, particularly around these social issues, by changing the language. Because when you change the language, you get to dictate the actual debate. And it's very easy to win a debate if you can change the language. But they clearly don't want this to go too far, because what's to stop us, based on this argument, a 16-year-old identifying as a 21-year-old and should get the same rights that are afforded a 21-year-old. What exactly is the reason that we would say no to that if we're accepting this definition of gender?
And you're entirely right. Where does it stop? Jason, good stuff. Thanks for being with us. Still ahead. Thanks.